Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, we're still learning about the account payables, so which is according to the study structure of MB 800. So we're going to learn about vendor, and then we're going to go through vendor card, and specifically we're going to go towards the payment side. So we're going to learn about this whole section. So the first option shows as application method. So the application method, you've got two options: manual, or you can apply to oldest. So what is that first? So the application method is basically specifies how to apply payment to entries for this vendor. So the two options, manual, and obviously the other one is oldest one. It's called apply to oldest. So these are the apply the oldest. Let's say if you want to know about that, is a payment application method commonly found in financial softwares like Business Central. I mean, this method instructs the system to apply a method to the oldest outstanding invoices first before allocating any remaining amounts to newer invoices. So basically, you can use it. This method typically works with if you want to sort out the invoices, payment allocations, or remaining amounts, or adjustment or completions. So the apply to the oldest method helps ensure that the oldest outstanding invoices are settled first, which can be beneficial for managing cash flow and maintaining good relationships with vendors. I mean, it also reduces the risk of overdue payments on older invoices, like minimizing potential late fees or penalties. I mean, users should review their specific business needs and payment practice to determine if this method is most appropriate for their organizations. So that was this one. So the manual side, if you see the manual side, it's a payment application method in financial softwares like Business Central that allow users to have complete control over the allocation of payments to invoice. I mean, instead of automatically applying payments based on predefined criteria, users can manually select which invoices to apply their payments to and adjust the allocation as needed. I mean, it typically same thing. It works with user intervention. You can say when a payment is received from a vendor, instead of system automatically applying it to the invoices, the users intervenes in the payment application progress or process. You can say that. It also provides you the invoice selection. I mean, the user review the open invoices for the vendor and manually selects the invoices to which they want to apply their payments. I mean, they can choose specific invoices based on various criteria, such as priority or due date or invoice amounts. It can also be useful for allocation of adjustment as well. I mean, after selecting invoices, the user can adjust the allocation of the payment amount to each invoice. They will allocate the payment in full to certain invoices, partially or to others, or leave some invoices unpaid if necessary. You can also get flexibility. I mean, the manual method offers flexibility, allowing user to apply payments according to their specific business needs and payments priorities. It's useful when there are expectations or special circumstances that require individual attention to invoice payments. You can also review and confirm the payment, and you can do the completion, etc., etc. Second one is payment term code. So you can see different terms codes here. So the payment term codes is specifically refers to predefined set of payment terms that govern the timing and conditions under which payments are due for vendor transactions. I mean, these payment terms dictate the agreed upon terms between the buyer, like for example your company, and the vendor regarding when the invoices must be paid. So you can see different kind of criteria here. You got 30 days, you got 60 days, you got 7 days, current month, cash, or on delivery. You can select from the list as well. There should be loads of them as well. And if you want to create anything new, you can click the new criteria and you can put the data there. Let's say, for example, let's say 3 days. we'll just put as 3-day, and we'll leave this discount date calculation as it is, and discount, just leave that as well, and it's up to you. I mean, if you want to put any discounts there. Then calculation payment as well, so you can put the description, so you can 3 days, and you can press OK. So if you want to select 3 days, you can select 3 days from there as well. So for this one, obviously how payment term codes typically function, it's predefined terms. You use your own setting expectations. You set your own expectations when you need to use the payment term code, what day, how many days you want, what kind of discount you want. It gives you power to customize your payment term codes and payment side. And automation side, when processing vendor invoices, obviously Business Central automatically calculates the payment due date based on payment terms code assigned to the vendor. I mean, this automatically streamlines the payment processing workflow and helps ensure timely payments. And it's a visibility as well, that the payment term codes provide visibility into payment obligations and help manage cash flow by forecasting payment dates based on the invoice due dates. So overall, the payment term code play a crucial role in managing accounts payable and cash flow within Business Central. I mean, they provide a standardized framework for defining payment terms, streamlining payment processing, and maintaining positive vendor relationship through clear communication of payment expectations. So the next one comes payment method code. So what method do you use? So you got different methods there as well. You'll have the full list of methods you can pick up from there. Let's extend this one. So these are the codes you can use in the payment terms. That's the description, and that shows the balance account type, which balance account type is that, and that's account number. Let's say, for example, if you want this account, if you click there, that'll show you petty cash, so that will show you as well. If you want to block it, you can block that from there. And you can set up direct debits or direct debit payment terms, and obviously export the definition as well. So basically the payment method code refers to a predefined identifier that represents the method or manner in which payments are made to vendors or received from customers. I mean, you can use this in vendor and customer, obviously the methods, these codes. So what basically it does is typical function is to standardize identifications. I mean, each payment method code represents a specific payment method such as cash, check, credit card, electronic funds transfer, EFT, or bank transfer. I mean, you can assign these to the transaction as well. I mean, payment method codes are assigned to transactions when recording payments to vendor or received from customers. You can also automate processing because of that. You can also do integration with banking systems. You can use it for reporting and analysis as well. You can also use it as a customization, so you can customize, you can make your own payment method, and you can name a different one, and then according to that you can do your settings from the list as well. Next one comes up as a priority. So the priority is, as it says, specifies the importance of vendor when suggesting payments using the suggest vendor payment functions. I mean, in the context of Microsoft Dynamics Business Central, priority typically refers to the order in which payments are applied to outstanding invoices or bills when processing payments for vendors. I mean, this feature will allow user to specify a priority for the allocation of payment to ensure that certain invoices are paid before others based on predefined criteria. So the basic functions, you can say it provides you the priority of the assignments. I mean, user can assign a priority level to each outstanding invoices or bill associated with the vendor. I mean, the priority level that indicates the order in which payments should be applied to these invoices. You can set up obviously the criteria for priority You can also allocate the payments to that. It gives you flexibility. You can do manual adjustment as well. And automation side, obviously Business Central may also offer automation capabilities to streamline the prioritization process. For example, user may set up rules or workflows to automatically assign priorities or priority level to invoices based on predefined criteria or payment patterns. So the next one comes up as block payment tolerance. So the block payment tolerance is obviously specifies if the vendor allows payment tolerance or not. So you can turn it on or turn it off if you want. So I'll just say no. So you can do that, right? So the block payment tolerance is a feature in Microsoft Business Central that allows users to prevent payments from being automatically applied to invoices if the payment amount exceeds a specific tolerance threshold. This feature helps you to control payment processing and ensure that payments are not applied to invoices that have significant discrepancies between the payment amount and the invoice amount. So the basic function, you can say it gives you the tolerance threshold, helps you with the payment processing. You can manually review that as payment as well. You can have exceptions handling as well, and you can prevent errors if you want to block payment tolerance. The next option we've got is predefined bank account codes. So the predefined bank account codes specifies the vendor bank account that will be used by default on payment journal lines for export to a payment bank file. You can say that. At the moment it's selected as ECA. You can select obviously from there if you got more than one, and you can define your own things here. And if you want to click on ECA, it will show you what ECA for. Oh, sorry, obviously it's selected now, but you can check the ECA as well. If you want to define a new one, you can define a new one from there. They'll ask for the information, basically all the basic information, what code you want, what name is it, address and everything, city. These are contact details, and then the bank process details and references. And you got communication level, the tab where you want email, and if they got any home page or not. And then you can set up the SWIFT code, IBAN, and etc. etc. So this tab, predefined bank account codes, basically is a field that allows user to specify the preferred bank accounts to be used when making payments to a specific vendor. This feature helps streamline payment processing by ensuring the payments to the vendor are drawn from the designated bank account, providing consistency and efficiency in financial transactions. So for that, you can typically functions for this are, you can have bank account selections, or you can select vendor payment processing or default settings, or you can get flexibility as well, and you can have more control and visibility as well. Next option shows as partner type. So you got partner types there. So partner type specifies if the vendor is a person or a company. So you can also say it refers to classification or categorization of business partners, such as customers, vendors, or other entities with whom your organization conduct businesses. This feature allows users to differentiate between various types of partners and apply specific settings, preferences, or functionalities based on their partner type. So basically, the basic function of that is it gives you classifications. For example, a partner type serves as a classification system for organization and categorizing business partners with Business Central. It allows users to distinguish between customer, vendor, and potential other types of partners, such as employees or contractors or affiliates. You can also do the setting and preferences. Users can define different types of settings, preferences, or behavior based on the partner type. For example, certain payment terms, pricing agreement, or shipment or shipping methods may be specific for customer, while payment method or vendor discounts may be specific to the vendors. So you can do the customizations as well. You can also do functionality and integrations. I mean, partner type may influence various functionalities and processes within Business Central, such as sales order processing, purchase order processing, financial management and reporting. And you can do integration with other modules or systems may also be affected by partner types classifications, and it can be used for visibility and obviously the reporting side. So the next option we got is cash flow payment terms code. So what does it do is it specifies a payment term that will be used for calculating cash flows. So you got different type of cash flow term codes. You can select this by checking all the lists. So these are the codes you define. You can define a new one as well, and that shows the due date. So let's say if it says 10 days, so 10D, 14 days, 14D. You can have CM as calendar month as well, current month, sorry. You can define their discount date calculations, discount percentage, and obviously these are all option and descriptions. So you can make your own, and obviously you can use from there as well. And typically this kind of question comes in the exam as well. So basically it provides you refer to define predefined set of payment terms specifically designed to manage cash flow effectively. So why we use this: you can optimize payment timings, you can tailor payment scheduling, or you can have early payment discounts or balancing cash flows or integration with cash flow forecastings. The next one comes as a creditor number. So creditor number, it can be any number here, whichever is your creditor number. So basically in this area you refer to a unique identifier assigned to a vendor or supplier with the system. So basic functions of this is unique identification, you can say that, or search and retrieval, or integration, reporting, or customizations. The last option, payment terms, obviously just for the basic ones we can see, it shows as exclude from payment a practice report. So that is basically specifies that vendor must be excluded from calculation in payment practice reporting. So you can use vendor exclusions or data accuracy, exception handling, and customization as well. But if you click there, you probably see more options. If you click on that, it will show you what is that for. It says it specifies the intraset reporting if the vendor is a person, and also that relates to that because obviously it's a person or a company. So this is all. This was all about the payment side of the vendor card. So I hope you understand the basics of payments, and the basic of understanding is that obviously you need to go into the different fields, and then you can click on them, then it will show you the different fields, and you need to know about the fields and what is what for. And thank you for watching my video.